Hello, 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 beautiful people. Hey Rob, ciao ciao. So I've got a mic. I hope it works. Please let me know if it's scratchy. A friend of mine told me you must put the mic close to the heart and it picks the vibration of your heartbeat. So I'm trying. Hope it works. That doesn't get too scratchy as I move around. Hey beautiful. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so while we wait maybe a few minutes for a few people coming on, I just want to make a disclaimer that I am so untech savvy. I'm gonna do my best to roll with this technology and make it my friend, but I need you to be patient with me and compassionate and forgiving. I made a post about this live yesterday or the day before, and I got the time wrong and then the spelling wrong. I even spelled Instagram wrong. What to do? And then I want to make a couple of announcements now before I enter the waves of the sharing. That this video it's the foreplay for a retreat I'm running next weekend in Cape Town, in a couple of weekends, not next weekend. 1st, 2nd and 3rd of December in Cape Town, and it's called EROTIC WISDOM. And in this retreat we're gonna look at the wisdom of our genital. We're gonna look at it and feel it and touch it. So it's an experiential weekend where we're gonna learn the yoni puja and the lingam worship. And so we're gonna practice on each other's body, and we're gonna put into practice the insight I'm gonna share with you tonight. So it's a fantastic opportunity if you can make it. Even if you are not in a romantic couple, you can just find a partner of the opposite sex and come. I'm just saying the opposite sex because one day is dedicated to the lingam and one day is dedicated to the yoni, and so everybody has an opportunity to perform the ritual and to receive it. And the other announcement I wanted to do is that I've got availability of a session room for the next couple of weeks, and I know that many students have been inquiring, and for the last couple of years I've only been available for session online. And if you were waiting to see me in person, the time has arrived, and you can send me a message and we'll take it from there. Okay, so let's dive in. So, the wisdom of our genitals. So first of all, I also had to encrypt the word genital because I don't know any longer if this is a taboo word. This day it feels we've gone backward. into the middle age, and there is a lot of censoring around the language of sexuality, and I didn't want to be ghosted because I used the word genitals. And yeah, makes me very sad that we have to find tricks to bring this teaching through. But if this is what we need to do, we'll do that also. We are unstoppable. So first of all, these words genitals. It's really important because I assume it is Latin because it's very close to Italian. And in Italian, the genitals are called genitali, and the parents are called genitori. So the genitals come from the same root as parenting, to be the parents. And if we think about it, our genital are parenting humanity. Yeah, without the activity and the magnificence and the creative power of our genitals, there will be no humanity. So this already is a very big piece to meditate and to let it land in our body, because a lot of us hold a lot of shame around our genitals, and it's like a parent holding shame for its creation, like a musician being ashamed of his musical instrument. Can you imagine that? Or a painter being ashamed about his paint brushes. Can you imagine that? And yet we do this. We are the artists of this life. We sit on our power, which is our erotic power, and yet we are ashamed of it. And so humanity carries a lot of shame. We are born in shame because we are born from the genitals. And when we are born in shame, we carry that shame. If we are not proud of the place where we come from, how can we become proud of expressing our creativity in our life and our life force? So if we look at this, the first movement that is required is to become proud of our genitals, really proud. And this requires for us to spend time with them, be in the company of our genital, stroke them, let them talk and sing to us, look at them, spend time really looking at our genitals in the mirror, not only when we are in sexual relationship with someone, but when we are in erotic relationship with ourselves. It's really important we pay attention, we observe this magnificent instrument of life, of creation. And another piece that I want to bring your meditative attention to is the erotic force that expressed through our genitals. And I want you to start to think about, when we speak about my eroticism, my sexuality, that sexuality and eroticism aren't really ours. They move through us, and we are so blessed when we get the opportunity to feel this force moving through us. We get to feel what it does to our body, but it's not ours to hold on to. It's not my orgasm, it's the orgasm that moved through me, as me, for a brief moment. But in reality, it moves as life force, which is cosmic, which is eternal, and which is endless. And all these terms are synonymous of divine. What's infinite and timeless, it's divine. Yeah? And so imagining eroticism as this divine imprint onto the world of form. And so we are born out of this beautiful activity of the genital, of our genitor, our parents. And they also were born out of lovemaking of their parents, which were also born out of the lovemaking of their parents, and so on and so forth, back in time until the beginning of humanity, right? And so our foreparents, our great-great-great-great-grandparents are not here any longer, right? But I am here. And I will not be here forever. And soon I will also die. And my children are here. And even if I don't make physical children, my creation in the world will outlive me for a very long time. And those creation will create new creation, and so on and so forth into the endless future. And so, therefore, we can say that the erotic force of reality, it's what's really here at all time. We are passing very briefly in the scheme of life on the planet that goes back for millions of years, right? And for a brief moment there is me with my personality and my erotic desire, my attraction and my contraction, but I too will be gone. But Eros, it's here to stay. So we could say that we are all product of this tremendous force of creation that express through the erotic arousal in our body. And to think it in this way, then we have to start really bowing to this life force, bowing to our sexuality, bowing to our erotic desire, and receive them as teacher. Receive our erotic desire as a spiritual practice, because it connects me to that which is infinite and eternal, right? Which is life force, erotic power. So this is a very important point of reflection, because then suddenly our eroticism, it's no longer an egoic expression. You know, oftentimes we live with shame around our sexuality and our eros because we make it personal, as if it is the product of just my being and my perversion, and not actually the force of God moving through us and using our attraction as pointers, as direction towards which life itself wants to go, using me to fulfill its intention, which is to fulfill itself and to constantly produce more life and more expansion of consciousness through our life form. So now when we look at our sexuality like this, is wow, this is a cosmic event, right? And I am participating into this immensity, this magnificence. I'm not the doer any longer, but I can allow for Eros to direct me, to take instruction from this. And you know, in the Greek time, Eros was a god, in fact. And Gaia was a feminine god, and Eros was making love to Gaia, meaning the force of creation was penetrating life on the planet to celebrate itself. so now when we, in the light of all of this, when we look at our genitals, then we look at a divine expression. We can now realize that we're looking at a divinity, and by their form and shape we can take instruction, direction, inspiration, enjoyment, all the things that are quality of a divine transmission, right? So let's let this land, take a deep breath and feel into this. Because now I'm going to add another point, that if we really pay attention, our genitals take direction from the heart. They don't stand alone. They are part of this whole system called the body. And the body intelligence, the body wisdom begins in the human heart. So in the Tantric tradition, we understand that mind resides in every cell in the body. And this is a thinking brain. And when the thinking brain is separated from the heart, we only have dry knowledge, information. But true intelligence, which is also called wisdom, it's when we recognize that the mind of the divine resides in the human heart, which is not just these pumping organs that we have inside the body, but is an energy field that pulsates and throbs in the center of our body, in this area. And so if we think about the male sex organs, the penis, that is also called the lingam in Sanskrit. The lingam has on the tip of it what we call the gland. It's a little shape of a heart, right? Sits like this, pretty much, right? And here there is that line that pulls it down, and the gland sits on top like this. And this, it's a heart, right? This is the shape of a heart. And if you're a man and you never notice, it's because you're looking from the top. If you learn to look at yourself through the mirror, you will see that heart. Like whoever bow in front of a lingam, like I've done many, many times in my life, it's easily recognizable. That's why I notice immediately, because I really love to look at this symbol of reality. And so what it's really telling us is that the tip of the penis is the expression of the human heart. And the shaft of the penis doesn't end at the base of the sex organs, but energetically carries on all the way to the heart. And this is what we really need to practice reconnecting, because we're living in a culture that has been very successful in cutting us in half and separating love from sex. And so the great job now is to reunite the heart and the genitals and learn to fuck with the heart, because the heart has tremendous capacity for fucking. It can take a lot of blows and it stretch and expand. And learn to love with our genitals. We can turn it around, yeah? We've always been told that the heart is for loving and the genital are for fucking. What if it is the opposite? The heart is for fucking because that is the intensity of living, fucking life, penetrating my life, penetrating the direction of my life with my heart, with the support of the organs of our sexuality, which are our genital, which are designed for loving. And the penis is really, really soft. It's a really, really soft organ. It's tender, it's extremely vulnerable, and it needs to be handled with a lot of care and tenderness. And also, it's external to the body of man. And I want to invite every man that are listening to me right now to meditate for a moment that if your heart would be exposed to life, how would you handle it? If your tender, soft, throbbing heart suddenly is exposed, is in your hand, would you ram it and jam it inside other things or other body? Or would you hold it with utmost tenderness and care and grace and kindness? So the lingam also represents in his absolute wisdom complete presence. So it's something so soft and tender, and when a man becomes aroused, becomes really hard. Is there anything else that could represent presence? Unwavering, absolute presence with totality. I mean, it always mesmerized me how hard this soft muscle becomes when he's responding to the moment with totality, to the stimulation of the world of form, Gaia, when she seduces him. Yeah? So that's really beautiful because it represents the quality, masculine quality, that are not only present in man, but in the male genital, are really descriptive of the metaphysics of reality. So, man, you penetrate with your heart. So become very aware, what do you want to penetrate? Who do you want to penetrate? Is your heart open when you penetrate with your penis? Are you connected or disconnected? So sometimes there are these issues of erectile dysfunction. I hate these words, actually. Many men are concerned because their penis doesn't get hard and ready when they decide it, when they would want it. And many times when I rest in the wisdom of this message, I ask this man to really pay attention that perhaps the person they are with is not ready to be penetrated. And their penis knows that. It feels it and is wise enough not to get hard. Is wise enough to stay quiet and wait and make love with the heart. So this is deep, deep wisdom, is the body wisdom that is beyond our decision. Oftentimes we have sex with our mind, with our idea. And pornography is a classical example. We watching someone else making love, and we participate by being physically completely removed. So we just participate with perception of sexuality rather than sensation and embodiment an absolute cellular presence. Because lovemaking is something we're supposed to do, not watch, right? The one thing to look at when we make love is to revert the gaze and look inside. Look into the inside of the body and sense your own heart penetrating reality. And so the job is an inside job. And so for women, the yoni, which is the Sanskrit word for vagina, yoni means source, the place of source, the place of beginning of many things, because it's the place where life begins, right? We are all being birthed by yoni in the natural order of event. Of course, there are exceptions. But the whole of humanity is birthed from yoni, right? So the quality of yoni are expansion and softness and depth. Because the baby is not made in the yoni, right? Is made in a place beyond the yoni, which is the womb. And so the yoni is a portal for further deepening, depth. And when a woman gets penetrated, actually she's opening the portal of her body that allow you access to her heart. Again, the channel, it's open between the genital and the heart. And I'm also thinking about in many religious tradition, God is also called Father. Father or Mother, Creator. It's a parent, it's a genitor, it's the genitals. So, the yoni, it's an immediate expression of the human heart and the heart of reality. And the human heart, when we train it well, can expand beyond the imaginable, and we're going into the mystical realm. And when a baby is being born, the yoni expand so much, like the head of a baby, and then come back to its form. The yoni is elastic. The yoni has space for the whole of humanity being birthed. And in your heart, there is space for the whole world. That's the symbol of the human heart, taking instruction, taking direction from the heart of reality. So this is the wisdom of the genital, right? If you are a woman, notice when you're making love, it's your yoni open and inviting all the way to your heart, or she stops here because you don't want to challenge your heart, because you've never made this connection, because you're not prepared to love as deeply as the heart of reality, because you are just letting someone in that without a full body yes. It's a maybe, but you're doing it because your mind tells you, for whatever reason that is, to be loved, to be accepted, to feel that you're worthy, to get something in exchange. And many wives still make love today. Husband, just because he pays the rent of the house, he pays for school, he just bought you a new kitchen. Come on, let's give him some sex. But your heart is not fully open, your heart is not there. And then what happened, that we habituate ourselves and our partner to a lovemaking that doesn't move further than our belly button. It's limited to our genital. Men make love with their cock only, and women just open their leg. And the connection to the heart is not cultured. And so for me, this is what culture addiction, sexual addiction, because it's always slightly unsatisfactory. Sex in this way, it's always slightly unsatisfactory. We need more, and we are never fulfilled. When we start to connect the genital to the heart, then we make in love as the cosmos, with the cosmos, with God. That's why when we have sex, the most spoken mantra is oh God, oh God, oh God, oh my God, oh my God. Yeah? Have you ever wondered why we say that? This is the wisdom of your sexual life. It's all there and we ignore it. We speak this mantra because we want to make love with God. When we penetrate, we want to penetrate the whole of reality, nothing short of that. We want to penetrate the heart of life. We want to penetrate the body of love. We want to penetrate the intensity of this life and live it to the full. And if you are in the feminine receptive aspect or role play of your love making, we want to be penetrated in the deepest part of our being, in the deepest, darkest mystery of our embodiment. Deeper, 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 all the way to the intensity of my life that is ready to birth the whole of humanity. This is sex as a spiritual practice. And this is really fulfilling. And by paradox, many people think that us tantrics fuck anything at all time, whatever breeds. When you get to know us really personally, you know that it's not really true. We become very selective with whom we make love because we are becoming very demanding. We want all of it. We want to swallow each other, and we want to engage with another human that is willing to risk it all for love, not a little bit. So sex in the genital is not even a question any longer. And we learn to make love with the whole of reality at all time, even right now while I'm talking to you. This is sex, right? For me, I'm making love with this moment. I'm expressing with the totality. I'm talking with my open yoni to you. I am penetrating your heart. My desire is to penetrate your heart with my words. Otherwise, why are we doing this? Just for blah, 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 blah. Beautiful concept, beautiful story. But the body doesn't come with. So the invitation of this meditation is to start to developing a practice of devotion, spiritual devotion towards your sex. your organs, your genitals, what they look like, how they change in pleasure, how the colors change, the form change, and what are the message that they are telling you. So another pointer, that the genital become really engorged with blood. They become very red, throbbing and pulsating, and this is telling us that the heart is meeting them. They're becoming red, like a pulsating, vibrant heart that wants to live the full experience of being alive. And they tell us if you look at them. And so, for example, the practice that we are going to engage with in this weekend retreat, it's practice of worship and devotion, where we're kneeling in front of another human being, sexual organs, with eyes wide open, and we're looking at the texture of the skin, at the form, at the shape, at whatever they are evoking inside of us when we're looking with no judgment. This is a very hard practice to do, because of course, if you're grown up with a lot of shame around your genital, when you look at them, the first thing you're going to see, it's your criticism, your disgust, your story around them. If you've been violated, you're going to have all this association. And if your desire to love life is deep enough, you're going to find the capacity to sit and look for long enough to pass through all the filter of your mind here, that I spoke about it before, and drop in here. And you're going to learn to look with the eyes of your heart. And the eyes of the heart are full of compassion and kindness and fascination and wonderment. And then we're going to look at this genital like a child that doesn't know what it means and can look with absolute fascination. Look, it's becoming hard. Look, it's becoming soft. Look, it opens, it closes. It asks me to touch. It asks me not to touch. I am invited in. I am being blessed by it. I start to receive insight and inspiration when I'm looking. So in the tantric tradition, we have practice like yoni gazing and lingam gazing, where we sit and we just look with eyes wide open, moving through all the judgment and all the idea we have about what we're looking at until this very moment. Even me, even if I'm a tantric, even if I've done this practice a million times, every time is like the first time. Yeah, this is healing, exactly. When we learn to look with the eyes of the heart, it's always new. It's always the first time. It's always a wonderment. And what I'm actually paying attention to is the messages of this other human being heart, right? We go back to the beginning as I open this call, right? So is this the heart of this human being that is expressing its desire to be seen in the world. And this is the God Eros. This is this divine force that has been on the planet since the beginning. This is beyond us. So the message I'm receiving through gazing at the sex of another human being is the message of divine Eros talking to me like an oracle. You don't need to pull the cards of the tarots any longer. There's no need for your horoscope. You just look at the expression of erotic force taking shape in this way, in this way, in this way, every moment changing, like looking at a sunset. And you have to stay really, really present to catch all the variable, and let your own heart be touched, be penetrated by this mystery. So again, when we gazing to the genital, actually our hearts are gazing at each other. And it's like Eros making love to Gaia all over again. And this becomes the archetypal dance of the forces of the universe through our body. This is the metaphysics we speak about in Tantrism, when we say that the whole cosmos is using us to express through our sexuality and our eroticism. Yeah, what's the time? Oh, I think I spoke a lot. 40 minutes. I want to know if anybody has any feedback, any question, anything you want to ask me about everything I said. I'm looking for any message. No. So someone spoke about healing, and what I want to add that, you know, oftentimes we speak about Tantra as a therapy, as a practice of healing, and in reality it isn't. We don't do therapy when we do Tantra. We just remember our true essential nature. And when we remember, and this word is beautiful because we go back into the membrane, and the penis, isn't it also called the member? Is it called like that? Il membro. In Italian it's called like that. It's the masculine, it's the member. And it's also called the organ, sexual organs, and the organ, it's also a musical instrument, yeah? Like I spoke at the beginning. Imagine a musician being ashamed of his musical instrument. So now we have this musical instrument, which are playing the melody of life in its perfect form. Right? Don't want to lose this train of thought, because I was speaking about healing. So when we go and we look for healing, our starting point is that we are broken. We need to fix something. And when we're moving towards a practice from the place that I am broken, that will be the underlying story that will always carry me. And then there is no ending to my healing, because I'm always the broken one that needs to be fixed. When we meet the tantric practice as an act of devotion, we are actually bowing to our essential original nature, which is a musical symphony of perfection. We are always perfect in our essential nature. And in Tantrism, we invite you to remember this. Come back into the membrane of your body. Your genitals are intense membrane, tissues, fully muscles. There are no bones, right? So you can really enter the membrane, the remembrance of the places in you that can never be broken. This is really important. Let it land. This is what Tantra teaches us. That if you go deep enough, like the yoni, what she represents, the depth of the mystery, you will only find perfection, which in my little conversation I had with you for the past hour, if you go deep enough into the yoni, what do you find? The human heart. And inside the human heart, the cosmic heart of reality. That's a place that can never be broken by life and by life event. Right? So when we go back there in our devotion and we bow and be humble to that, we become humble to this magnificent force, we are drinking from the nectar of truth. And this place which are always unbroken inside of us are gonna inform our personality, our egoic narrative, and soothe the places where we lost our way, the places where we were broken in our narrative and in our personality. So the remembrance of our true nature will, by default, perhaps heal those places. But we're not starting from the healing, right? We're starting from devotion. And devotion is an activity of the heart. So it's the journey of the loving heart. There was a comment. I love to hear about your thought on testosterone in men and how it is linked to sex with our heart. Okay. What you say penetrate the fear I carry, which is now releasing in tears of relief. Awesome. Penetrate your fear with the devotion of your love. And you know, I discovered that tears are the substance that lubricates our heart in its ability to expand and feel more. Like the yoni, when she makes love, she gets wet. She wants to be lubricated in order to receive and open. And when the yoni gives birth, also is full of fluids to allow for the expansion, for birthing. And I discovered that our tears lubricates the ability of this heart to expand his capacity to love so much more. And so our tears are erotic fluids. Yeah, this is also sexuality. We call them moon juice in the tradition. So my thought about testosterone in men and how it's linked to sex with our heart. Where I can just say that men in their 50, when the production of testosterone decreases, there it begins their ability to really have sex with their heart, because their capacity to feel naturally expand. And so man in their 40 plus begins to have this ability to become multi-orgasmic because of this drop in testosterone. But I'm not a biologist and I'm not a scientist. I'm a devoted tantrika and I work intuitively, and I take direction from my students, also the people that share their life experience with me. And in many texts also it is written that Tantra is not for the young man, and the young man can need to experience sex with the genital in order to expand from there. Yeah, you need to know your limits to then go beyond them. And knowing your limit also means, in the tantric language, love it. Through knowing, when you know something really well, you love it. Yeah? And it means you dedicated yourself to this knowing. You knowing with your whole body, you knowing with your heart, which is another way to say love. You're very present with it. So when you're very present with your genital and you've made love just with that for a long time, now you will sense the desire for more, the possibility, the potential for more. And when testosterone drop, boom, the sensitivity of your heart immediately open up. And it will ask more of you. And if you want to carry on having sex for the rest of your life, then this movement, it's mandatory. You need to learn to fuck with your heart, definitely. Okay, did I answer your question so far? So if you live in Cape Town, I really want to invite you to join me on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of December. It's the first time I actually do a retreat for couple. I often just taught individuals, regardless of their relationship status. And this time, hey Nunu, ciao. And this time I thought, yeah, let me offer something for couple, because I've always made the assumption that couples knows how to make love, because that's what they do a lot all the time. And then some people told me that it's actually absolutely not true, that a lot of couples lose intimacy in the genital. They just do the mechanics of sex and they forget about the ritualized action of sexuality. And so I thought, okay, let me do this piece for couple. And the Friday night is an open night, so you can come. You have to come accompanied. Even if you come on Friday night, you can be accompanied by a partner of the same sex, because we're not going to the practices. And you also just attend the Friday night. And but maybe you love it and then you decide to stay. And we're gonna journey together through the whole weekend. And for the people that are here listening and you really feel you resonate with this and you're ready to go deeper, that depth I spoke about, in the depth of the heart of reality, I am offering a personal intensive in March for a very small group between 3 to 6 human beings of all gender and sexual orientation and identification, because there we're gonna identify with the cosmos, really, all of us. And we're gonna be together in the forest for 6 days, one-on-one, completely spontaneous, no program, no planning. And we're gonna start from this conversation we just had right now. Yeah, we go straight into the art of reality, the art of eroticism, the art of your essence, and we're gonna play hard, hard and deep and with intensity. And there is space at the moment. I've got 2 people, so come play in the deep with me. Mwah. I love you all. And thank you for being here with me. And if there is any more thoughts and question that arises for you, or comments that you want to, not comments, sorry, subject that you would like me to address in the next live, please keep writing it into the comment. And I would love to show up once a week, maybe on a Monday, why not? And start conversation. Since I realize I'm terrible on social media to do all the amazing editing tricks and the marketing strategies, I'm really not good at that. Maybe I'll just start by showing up regularly. How about that? Every Monday evening, and we just have conversation let me know what you want to talk about. Nunu, you're asking me, where are you organizing this intimate gathering? Here in South Africa, in this beautiful country I live in 2 hours from Cape Town. So we're gonna be in this beautiful venue in the forest, and my intention is to spend 6 days naked, weather permitting. And anyway, we're gonna be naked for 6 days, and if it's cold we just have blankets, but no garments, no clothing, no layers. That really direct and essential. And I would love for you to join us, Nunu. Think about it. And maybe we'll talk about this next Monday. How about that? It's called Red Dakini Tantra, and maybe we'll talk about this. All right? Ciao, ciao. I'll see you next week. Love you all. Thank you for your support.